Welcome to the fifth episode of What the Fuck Have I Gotten Myself Into? Full transparency, a few months ago, it presumably was November. It was November in 2022. I called upon the 9 demonic gatekeepers, which namely are Belial, Lucifer, Maimon, Azazel, Abaddon, Lucifuge, Raphael, Beelzebub, Baal, Asmodeus, and Satan, these 9. And I called upon them so they would do something. Basically, this working system I saw happening years ago when EA Co-Wedding still had his Become a Living God channel on YouTube. I didn't follow it along precisely, but I peeked into it, and it really, really it woke my interest. It woke my interest so deeply that I called upon them. And I had them open, or they decided to open. What was the main intent there was that I wanted to start working with the system, because I saw that there is great power and great transmutation in there, a sort of transmutation and transformation of the self that is undeniably dark, but also fundamentally changing so much that there is no going back, and that you will really be changed forever in a positive way. And so what they have done is they opened, I mean, I didn't see it physically, but like my psychic senses are more with feeling and hearing. And if I close my eyes, like I can scry into things and get images very clearly. But I could feel that what they did was, and this was also described in the Book of Azazel by E.A. Co-Wedding, what they did was that they opened a pit of flames beneath me in the summoning circle. Pit of hellfire, like they called it, I believe. In a way, a portal to hell, probably. And I burned there. I screamed in terror, in pain, in pleasure, in agony. It feels surreal to see myself on the screen of my phone talking to me like this, and to see that this has actually happened, and that I'm already in the middle of this path working. I digress. It was so crazy. Asmodeus multiple time told me that it's over soon. It's over soon. Just a little bit. Come on, just a little bit more. He told me this like 7 or 8 times when I was about to give up. He deceived me for my own good in that case, and I'm grateful for that. Because if he wouldn't have told me that it's over soon, I would have gone out of the thing. And they also planted, for those of you who are like developing their psychic senses, I allow you to scry at it, to look at it. They planted something inside of my solar plexus chakra, which they call the dark seed. And it's like it causes irrepressible evolution. The things that have happened ever since, the intense situations that I found myself in. But also the strength that this has given me. I've integrated so many traumas. I've become so much more aware. I gain a lot of power. I gain a clearer perspective of myself, even though I still feel that there's a certain nebula or a certain mist between who I really am and my perspective of myself. And a few weeks ago was the second time that I called them. And I called them again so that they opened the spit again, so that I burn more. And then I called upon them again, and I wanted to receive a demonic incantation for discipline. And they gave me that. For those of you who want to use it, for those of you who do not want to hear it, I guess mute this video until I lower my hand. The incantation is Esnuflu Kareshkov Malatrelica. And it brings out such tremendous discipline inside of you. It's crazy. What they really want me to reveal everything. It's like part of me doesn't want to tell you guys this because like I'm scared shitless that you will perceive me as like clinically insane. I also during this third ritual had in the back of my mind that I kind of like want to invoke them all. An invocation is calling the energy of a spirit inside of you, and as far as I am concerned, an invocation could be considered some sort of that doesn't work. Some sort of minor possession in a way, because like to some degree you merge with that being energetically. And they gave me a very, very simple but holy fucking shit highly effective incantation to invoke them all at once with one word. Sometimes I'm really asking myself if I'm just making this stuff up, but then I feel what's happening inside of me and I just know that it's real. The incantation for that, same game. It's really simple. It's Nuflucto Ura. And I never dispelled them out of my system. In fact, I kept calling them into me, strengthening them. And I must be fucking crazy. I must be fucking insane. And part of me is like, I should probably just stop this and stop it. Yes, stop it. And just go about my way and work with a different system. But I feel like that this path will call me again and again and again. And actually, I feel too curious. I feel too excited about it for me to stop. I do not want to stop. Yeah, so much for that. And what happened is that initially I had my differences with King Belial, which, by the way, is this demon is not to be messed around with in any way. Like, yeah, okay, full authenticity. What I noticed is that I can become possessed to some degree where I let the spirit talk through me, and where I can even allow it to take over my body if I want to. It doesn't feel like a full possession in terms of how much of their energy is inside of me. Some of them are like, I feel like they're passively laying back and waiting to like be called forward, and sometimes they spontaneously come forward and tell me things. But what happened is that I observed, like, I was sitting there in front of a candle, and Belial and Bael, which like I fucking love Bael. Um, they were having a conversation about how to go about this path of mine as a way to like also prove to me that I'm not imagining this shit. And like they were talking back and forth, and at one point Belial asked Bael, "When can I break him?" And Bael was just like, "Not yet." And I was sitting there like, "What the fuck are you guys talking about?" Like, in a way, in terror, observing that this is actually real. This is something that it still sits with me. I sometimes still look in this mirror and doubt myself that this is actually happening, but what usually happens is then Belial comes forward in one way or another and like shows me that I'm not fucking imagining this. Through an interaction with a friend of mine who also started to work with Belial now, I process through some sort of, how do you say? The German word is Rückkopplung. What's the English word for that? Like some sort of like transmission effect, you could say. What happened is that I can feel my weaknesses coming up. I was just, I just, I just came back from having like some chit chat with family members, and like I couldn't, like I had troubles just looking them in the eyes. They terrified me to the point where like everything that they did, I would have like I wouldn't let any of that out, but internally I would have like very like violent reactions towards that as a protection mechanism, because it doesn't look like it to you, because right now I'm very collected, but in truth how I feel deep down right now is that in a way every fucking thing terrifies me. I can feel how Belial in a way is bringing out all of my weaknesses, as he's calling it breaking me. I can feel the weakness of my knees returning. I had an issue with that. I had a different magician employ President Marbas for that to heal it, and it went really well. And like I feel fucking devastated. I feel fucking devastated. Like I feel like I feel like in a way parts of my psyche, I don't have a different word for it, deteriorating. It's like areas of my mind that do not serve me anymore are being dissected and deconstructed. I can hear Belial inside of me like laughing like a maniac right now, being all like, yeah, and it's good that way. I won't let them out on camera yet, because I don't feel like I want to do that yet. Also, like, do you just appreciate how neat that looks? Like the entire style of it, the entire like dark elf look, I fucking love it. And the reason why I didn't post the last 2 days was basically one day I really had to heal, and the other day was procrastination. And honestly, I probably could have made a video on both days. I just chose weakness. That's one thing that is really prominent when I like started working closer with Belial, is that whenever I did something that in the back of my mind I knew was not a good decision, he would immediately like speak in like into my psyche like weakness. and it tell me that basically like it's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. So it seems like due to the path that I'm currently working with these 9 dark great grand ancient ones, this channel is going to take a bit of a darker turn. But I want people to see this. In a way, I want people to see this process. And I'm fucking terrified of it. I am so terrified of it. Like, part of me just like wants to take this candle, take this phone, smash it against the mirror, go outside and be like, fuck it, like, spirits take me, kill me. I don't want to fucking take this. But no, 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 no. No, that's not what I'm gonna do. I have different plans. And I feel like they have different plans for me too. Whether you're into demons or not, anybody who's interested in any form of like self-development, psychology, depths of the psyche, I encourage you to follow along, because it's gonna be crazy. It's really gonna be crazy. The more I feel Belial's presence strengthening, the more I feel myself weakening. The only reason that I feel so sure working with him is that I know that there's an agreement between them and the other demonic gatekeepers that he will not harm me. And I've also worked closely enough during the past few weeks, I guess, 2 weeks maybe, to know that there's genuine love between Belial and me. I just, even though in a way it fucking pisses me off how much he's addressing my weaknesses, and part of me is always like, can you stop? I'm doing my thing. I love him for doing that, because he's showing me exactly where I am being weak. All those small moments where I like act like, oh yeah, like of course I can do this. No, he's like immediately there, like, weakness. Like, you shouldn't do that. And it's exciting. It's very exciting. And it's also terrifying to have somebody so close to me. What the fuck have I done? When Diego Wedding said in one of his videos or book maybe that it is in a way a path of damnation, and that you basically had to become damned to be liberated. I thought like it is just him projecting his own image of the world onto the Gnosis, but did somebody just call for me? Yeah, that too. I'm feeling that there might be some auditor, some visual and audio hallucinations during this period. I can deal with that. I can handle it. I have been taught by a magnificent teacher how to handle these things. I will not forward her teachings out of boundaries. I know how to handle everything that's going to come to me. And if I don't know beforehand, then I will learn it as I go. I am determined that this, no matter what happens, that I am making it through. And that I will come out at the end of this being stronger than I ever was. But right now I'm fucking terrified. So what I'm going to do is I will use my great round mirror, and they have instructed me to evoke them all, to basically call them all forth. And I've never called them forth to like for me to be observable. I called them forth in a way of like the spirits surrounding me and me feeling them, but I haven't evoked them all at all yet. The only one that I've ever evoked of them was by yeah. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up because this is already 20 minutes in. I don't know how to wrap this up. I have no fucking idea. I guess I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you learned something from this. Fuck. Curious and terrified. That's how I feel about this. But I'm too curious to let fear stop me now. And this dark seed that I carry right inside of me, it's glowing, it's pulsating like a beacon. And while the path of this evolutionary process is by no means a comfortable one, I know that I can do it.